All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a great classic, ancient, antique, vintage science fiction novel. It is called A Princess of Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs. Right there at the top it says, The Martian Tales of Edgar Rice Burroughs, A Princess of Mars. A lot of people refer to this as the John Carter of Mars series or the Barsoom series. You can call it whatever you want. This thing was written in 1912. It was written at the same time that Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote the Tarzan the Ape Man. Now, Tarzan, the first 4 books of the Tarzan series were massively successful for Edgar Rice Burroughs. And so then he decided to go ahead and try to get his Mars books published, and they also became massively successful. So even though this was written in 1912 at the same time as Tarzan, it didn't come out until about 1917 when his Tarzan books got real popular. So that's a little history on this book. Let's take a look at the covers now. You know I love these covers. Actually, I've got the entire John Carter of Mars series right here, all of them with these wonderful Michael Whelan paintings that Michael Whelan did in the late 1970s when they reissued all of these. This collection is one of my most prized possessions because all of them in mint condition. I got these when I was younger, and I've had them ever since. And just the beautiful wraparound painting where we get the characters, the different creatures and aliens of Mars, and this big, huge, epic. I mean, the Michael Whelan paintings are epic, and I'm going to take the time. In every one of these Mars reviews, John Carter of Mars, I'm going to show you these Michael Whelan covers because they are dope. I mean, look at how awesome that is. That is just dang freaking cool. And then another one. These are all great wraparound paintings. The gladiator pits of Mars. Oh my gosh, just super hot. And then, all of these paintings that Michael Whelan did were just, I mean, if you don't have this collection in your collection, you're missing out because these are some of the most dynamite books to have just for the Michael Whelan paintings. Just for these, I mean, these are just fantastic. And they are just colorful and striking. I mean, look at how awesome that is. That cover right there is dope. And that was even better. My God. Oh, stop me, people. Stop me already. This whole collection, like I said, one of my favorite things in the world. So let's talk about John Carter of Mars. This review is probably going to be a little bit longer than most because I got a lot of things to say about this. You know, we all know the story of the Hollywood movie starring Taylor Kitsch, where Hollywood made this big movie about the Princess of Mars, John Carter of Mars, and then they went ahead and they spent trillions of dollars on it, and then they just decided, we don't want to get our money back, so let's tank this thing. How can we tank it so nobody sees it? And then they made the mistake of just calling the movie John Carter. Nobody is going to know what the fuck that is. First of all, the most bland human name possible is John Carter. Maybe John Smith. Maybe John Jones. I don't know, but Carter is one of them. And if you've got a movie and you just call it John Carter, people are going to be like, was that the movie about the president of the United States before Reagan? Like John Carter? Or James Carter? Jamie Carter? June Carter? Jim Carter? Oh, no, I'm not going to go see that fucking movie. They should have just named it The Princess of Mars. So oh my God, it sells itself right there. People would have been like, oh yeah, Princess of Mars. That's the Edgar Rice Burroughs books that we read as a kid. Let's go see that because that stuff is dope. But no, they get up like a bunch of jizz. Holy shit. shit, I'm on a rant. Get it together, Hollywood. My God. Princess of Mars, you would have, Taylor Kitsch would have been the John Carter of Mars, and he would have been in they would have been sequels, and it would have been awesome, like Lord of the Rings, because these books are fucking great. Oh my God. And not only that, but the movie was pretty goddamn good. If you saw the movie, that thing was a damn good movie. It was shot well, cinematography well. It followed the book relatively closely, and I'm telling you, I don't understand people. I don't understand Hollywood. Good God Almighty. Oh, Lord. Oh, so this thing starts up, the reason I'm in my cowboy hat and stuff, is this thing starts out in the Old West. John Carter's a Civil War veteran, and he's in Arizona in the Old West, and there's a bunch of stuff about Spanish gold and lost in caves and cave mines, and then he gets bonked on the head, and the next thing you know, he wakes up on Mars. This thing is great. It starts out like an old Zane Grey Western or an old Louis L'Amour Western. In fact, this was written 1912, about the same time Zane Grey was writing all his Westerns. And those first couple chapters in the Old West, they're good. That's a good Western story going right there. That's a great Western story. And Edgar Rice Burroughs, I love his writing. I love his style. It's got that old-timey feel, just like Louis L'Amour and Zane Grey put in there. And it's got that old-timey feel because it's an actual old-timey book. I mean, it's kind of the way things were written back then. People read it now and they're like, why is there using so many words to describe things? Why is there so many, adjectives and nouns and pronouns? Why are there so many words? Why words? Words. I don't want words. I just want story. Now, this has got some great, eloquent, purple prose just flowing through the whole thing. But that's what we love about these old-timey, vintage, classic science fiction and Western novels. That's why we read them. We can learn, and as a writer, from some writing advice people, you can learn a lot from these old books, just in the unique word choices people used to use, writers used to use back in the day, 100 years ago. I mean, this was written in 1912. What is it right now? 2021. I don't know the math on that, but that's got to be about 1,000 years ago this was written. And another century it was written, I think. Almost. Something like that. I've never been good at math. However, John Carter, he's a cowboy, he gets bonked on the head in a cave, and then he wakes up on Mars. And then we get the Mars stuff, which is just cool. He's like, his body is like, since he's been raised on Earth, the gravitational thing is a little different, so he's kind of like a Superman on Mars. He can jump, he can run, and he does it all better than the Martians, and he runs into these Martian guys that end up being kind of his friends. Well, a lot of them aren't his friends, some of them are his friends. But then he has a lot of just super cool adventures, and he meets this girl that's sort of human, that and look at the covers. I mean, I think we should just go back to these kind of covers with the scantily clad, beautiful people. I like it. A lot of people nowadays are offended by this because they're, easily offended by paintings of beautiful people. Good. I don't even want to get on that rant. But I love these old covers. And this is a men's adventure where things are seen through John Carter's eyes. He narrates the story in his own voice. And he sees things through his own eyes. So he notices beautiful girls. And he notices, and I'm going to tell you right now, even though this was written in 1912, it's got some blood and guts flowing through it. I mean, it is grim. It's got some gruesome, bloody, violent scenes. I just reread that and I was surprised. I was like, man, I don't remember reading that when I was a kid, but I think that guy just got gutted. I think that guy just got his heart tore out of his chest and somebody ate it. Mars is not a nice place. Mars is a violent, violent place. And John Carter has to do some violent things. And it's just cool. It's just a great, great adventure. And it's got a decent plot to it also. I mean, I just love these books for so many reasons. And so I thought I would reread them all from my channel, and I started with this one, A Princess from Mars. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is great stuff. You know, and I especially love that since it was written in 1912, especially John Carter's backstory is about him being a cowboy. Well, Edgar Rice, in 1912, everybody's backstory was them being a cowboy, right? So that's the cool thing about it, is we've got this guy's backstory as he's a cowboy, but well, that's all Edgar Rice Burroughs would have known. That's the only backstory he could give the guy. And then, not only that, but it's interesting to see what kind of stuff someone writing in 1912 would have thought would be going on Mars. And because they knew even back then they know that that's another planet out there. I mean, even in the very prologue of this book, they talk about gazing up at the stars and wonder, you know, like what's up there. So there's just a magical book, and I love the fact that we got to see what Edgar Rice Burroughs thought Mars might be like writing in the year 1912. It's just dope. It's dope. I love it. I give this a 9. What did I say? I think I gave it a 9.5 or something like that. It's a great book.